system. How to change next slide?
They will change, sir.
No, they told.
They are playing it actually, sir.
Are you changing the slides? Can you change the slides from that side? Hello? Or okay, go to the second slide, please. What is this system here also?
No, sir. Only they are actually.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Then again,
given to you, sir.
oh,
Hello.
it is given by
Hello.
me.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. You can change, sir. You can just click on the next. You just a slide will be changed, sir.
Okay, okay. Let me see.
They are playing it actually.
It's not. We are unable to do it from here. Can you do it from there?
Sir, now please check. Now you can do it, sir.
No, please see. Yes. Thank you. So, bring back. Yeah. No. Come back to it. The first one. Sorry. No, back. No. No, no, you have to come to the first part. We have not.
Sir, they are changing it, sir.
No.
They are changing it.
Oh, sir, you can change. You can change, please.
Okay, thank you. You know, coming to the goals of higher education, I have a slide with me, so you can go through that slide. That although we are partners of, or we have the, when we have a career in higher education, we feel that our job is only confined to teaching of our subject in the classroom. But from a holistic point of view, or from a developmental point of view, we can say, or from a research point of view, the goals of higher education are mainly to advancement of the scientific knowledge, especially at the university, at the college level. We have to advance that knowledge in the discipline, whether you are in psychology, or whether you are in physics, or whether you are in biology, or whether you are having a biophysics like a interdisciplinary discipline and all. But your fundamental duty is to advance the knowledge, scientific knowledge in the field where you are working. The second one, I will say, to promotion of the sustainable development of the, that is, promote sustainable development in society. First one is the discipline-based objective or the goal. Second one is the, we have to take care of our society or the people or the community around us. And you know that even the sustainable development goals, 17 sustainable development goals and all, this we have to look into how they can become, how we can promote that sustainable development goals, and we can achieve a sustainable development in our society in India. That is, I will consider as the second important goal of higher education. And third one is, of course, the holistic development of the learners. We have our learners. This we are doing this part. Every one of us, we go and we teach them, we satisfy them and all. So, and we take care of their development, or they pass in the examination and other things we take care. So, but only thing is, we have to see from NEP point of view, we have to see a holistic development, and they will be prepared to take up a career at the end of our education. So, if you agree, these are the main goal of higher education: scientific advancement of knowledge, then sustainable development of society, and holistic development of the learner. So these three. Then sometime when I discuss about the goals of education, immediately they will ask, sir, how we can attain these goals of education? You are telling us whether we can attain all these through our teaching and all. So that's why we have some tools for getting, or we can say that as the components of higher education. Let's go to the next slide. That is the components of higher education.
We cannot do it, sir. Only they can do it.
Hello. Yes, the components of higher education. These are very, very important because to attain the goals of higher education, we can, a professor or a faculty member, we can use these three, components very well. First one is teaching. That teaching is actually in earlier days, we were only concerned with the traditional or offline teaching or classroom teaching. But now, after the COVID period, especially, we have come to the online or the digital platforms for teaching. Even I am reaching you on digitally and on an online basis. So online teaching has also become very, very useful, and that has become a part of our system. So earlier it was only the offline traditional method of teaching. Now we are combining both the traditional and the digital methods of teaching. And UGC has also agreed, or they have also proposed for the blended or integrated methods of teaching. And they have prescribed a 60 to 40%. If you have 60%, you can have offline, and 40% you can have digital. So that is now a teacher, a university teacher should be very, very competent in traditional, digital, and that blended methods of teaching. Then coming to the, teaching is only mostly, you may say, it can also have the possibilities of creating knowledge or discussing knowledge or transmitting the knowledge better. But coming to the second component is very, very important. That is research component of education. That research component, you can use that for advancing the knowledge, creating the knowledge, or even when there are some possible, problems, or we want to make some news strategies and all, we can do can have the research. So research component is very important. Perhaps in the school, research is not there. We have mostly teaching and training there. Here in higher education, we have a very crucial component, that is research. That in research, I will say the three aspects of research are very, very important: invention, innovation, and development. This is, I have taken it from Dr. Abdul Kalam. He used to say, what are the aspects of research, or how do you do research? You have to have invention first, then that invention should lead to innovations or new practices, and then it should lead to development. So our topic for today is also on research and development. So we can give more importance to the second component of higher education. That is given much importance in NAC accreditation and all. You are A or A plus, that will depend mainly on the research component, because teaching and extension, other things are taken care, but research component can make you a different into quality altogether. So for institutional level and at the individual level also, and the many universities are known for the research contribution or the people who have contributed for that research. So, but the third component is equally important, that is extension. You can have collaboration with other institutions, collaborate with local institutions in the community and all, and you can have outreach program. You can take whatever you have proved in the lab and all, you can teach to the people around. That is, you can have the lab to land program, and you can have services. That is, even in an outreach program, you can bring some of the problems from the land to lab also, both lab to land and land to lab also. So that extension, and you can combine that extension with research. You can have collaborative research. You can have a lot of research related to this outreach programs. So that is the beauty of that you can link research with the teaching, and you can link research with the extension. Of course, you can have the service aspects also as a component of higher education, like your NSS programs, your medical camps and all. These are all services we are rendering as a, that is like a green army or green, environment movement, and even tree plantation. Then so many things, and waste management. Such programs we can reach to the people, and we can become a service-oriented institution. Whether your college and university can become a model institution in extending the service to the people around. So this we can consider as the three main components of higher education: teaching, research, and extension. Then we will give more importance to research now, because you must be thorough with the teaching components and all. But our topic is also on research and development. So let us go in further into the research part of the higher education. The second component of higher education, that is the research. Go to the next one, please. I'm unable to change it from here. So, but before getting into research and development, let me, mention about NEP 2020. Can we get into that slide, please? NEP 2020, the vision of NEP 2020. Hello, I am unable to change it here. Hello. Next one. No.
Sir, we cannot do it, sir. Only they can do it, sir.
Only you can do it from there. Please help me. Go to the no, next one. Next one. We should have done it from here only. No. Hello. Can you go to the next one, please? Hello. Yeah, that NEP 2020, kindly bring that to that fourth slide. NEP 2020. NEP, as you know, we are all, even this program is also to sensitize us with the NEP 2020 vision. So I will say the envision, NEP 2020 envisions the Indian education system that should be rooted in Indian heritage and ethos. That is first thing. Second one is, it is equitable and vibrant knowledge society. We have to be able to make that knowledge, equitable, and it is a vibrant. With that knowledge, we have to make our society very vibrant. Everybody should take that education as a challenge, and they should be able to, have that education level which they deserve, and that they should contribute to the society through education. That is the second vision given by NEP 2020. And third one is providing high quality education to all. That is from pre-primary stage. That is, they are asking to bring the children from 3 years of age till the PhD and all. So providing very high quality education to all, whether it is a very remote area or whether it is a very exceptional area, we have to give them a high quality education. The final goal of NEP 2020 is to make India a global knowledge superpower. That is, it is mentioned that NEP is a roadmap for taking our students to a globally competent learner, or a globally they have that. Yeah, thank you. So that please look into it. Yeah. Okay, we can go to the future prospects also. No, come back. Please come back to it. Hello. Hello. Yeah. No, not this one. Okay, come back first. Reverse side. Reverse side. Go to the previous one. Go to the previous one. No, next. Go to that. Next. Yeah, see, making this I have already mentioned, rooted in Indian heritage and ethos, equitable and vibrant knowledge society, providing high quality education to all. And lastly, the goal of or the vision of NEP 2020 is to make India a global knowledge superpower. This I have already mentioned. Now we can go to the next one. That is, what are the prospects in NEP 2020? Prospects. Prospects means what is there on the anvil. So, when we have a NEP 2020, that policy and all, from there, how far we can go ahead, or what are the prospects, with us, how we can, this NEP 2020 recommendations, how it is going to help us in the higher education system. The first one is revamping higher education system with global standards, because that, as I told, it is a very diverse, ancient, and massive system, but in question. That is, our universities and colleges, their institutions are not coming up to the world level. That is world, that standards. So, how can we bring our education system with the global standards? That is the first thing. And all our effort now, while implementing NEP 2020, is to make the higher education system on par with the global standards, whether it is in undergraduate, postgraduate, or our PhD program. That our scholars, whatever they do, that they should have that very high standard of knowledge and research. Then another one is that is, NEP has also mentioned about multidisciplinary, flexible, and liberal approach. This is also very, very important. Although most of our institutions, including Amaravati University and all other institutions, they are multidisciplinary institutions. Gandhigram University or Northeastern Hill University or JNU, any of the institutions, they are multidisciplinary because all the disciplines are there. But they are mostly segmented in course or academic program. So now, in NEP 2020, they are asking us, you may combine these disciplines, and the students have the chance to have the go for the courses from multidisciplinary angle. So, and should be very flexible and liberal approach. Here we have only computer science, mathematics, and physics. There ends. But in a liberal approach at the UG level, they can have computer science along with music or any other program. So that type of a multidisciplinary. Even NEP has even asked this IITs. They were only unidisciplinary, only technology they were concentrating. Now they are starting a number of science and humanities programs also. So we have to make our universities and colleges viable and take care, that multidisciplinary approaches should come in every course or any program of this institution. That's very, very important. So that is a futuristic view I am telling. And the third one is the National Research Foundation and Research Ecosystem. This is very, very important. Earlier, we have so many agencies, and it was very difficult to get the funds from the UGC and all. Now they have brought all the research funds under the National Research Foundation, and already it has been established with 50 crores rupees, 50,000 crore rupees. That is that National Research Foundation has been established, and they have started funding to all the disciplines, or even for interdisciplinary or transdisciplinary or collaborative research ventures. So they are, and we have fabulous funding programs. So that has been nationally coordinated. Hopefully that will filter, or that will fuel the research in the states. And because there should not be any restriction on the basis of science or arts or humanities or languages for getting the funds. Now they are giving lot of funds for traditional knowledge system, history, humanities, and all on par with the sciences and all. So this National Research Foundation, they have recommended, and it has come into being. And also they are making a research ecosystem. All the research that can be collaborated or that are collated together, and you can have the research publication, or anyone anywhere can know about the research going in any of the institution, and they can even do advanced research based on that, or even they can check the results of what we have done and all. So a research ecosystem, and even merging the minds of the researchers from the various fields and various institutions, that also they have recommended in the research ecosystem. So that is also very, very important for a futuristic point of view, to popularize and to advance quality research of the education institution. Then fourth one is academic and institutional autonomy. And as far as I know, India is very poor. It's a country where we are very poor in autonomy, or academic as well as institutional autonomy. Everything is controlled by a university system or a higher education agencies, and we cannot depart from that. And the individual or institutional autonomy is completely blocked. Even only one or two countries in South Africa or Korea, they are behind us, and because very little freedom is given to the faculty members in choice of their classroom practices, choice of the curriculum, and modification of the examination system. So this will come up, because they have told we are going to affiliate the colleges from the universities, and you can have the autonomy for framing your own curriculum, making your own assessment, and the teachers have the autonomy to use the classroom practices or pedagogies which they find suitable to that subject. So this academic autonomy and institutional autonomy, if it is going to be bestowed, it will become a welcome effect for promoting high level new ideas, new ways of taking, or new pedagogical practices and all. So the teachers also will get they will get glorified with their own individual practices and all. We need not depend upon schools and all. They have to write the lesson plans, and they have to get, and everyone write in the same way. So there is no that there is noted by the NEP 2020. Why don't you give freedom for them? They can they need not write the classes in a prescribed format and all. They can have their own ways, but only thing is they have to achieve the learning outcome prescribed by the university or by the institution in the curriculum. Then we want internationalization, digitalization, and transparency. There is a lot of controversy going on in internationalization, because UGC has already taken steps to bring some of the universities abroad, their campuses in India. Instead of students, they are unable to go to places like Canada, UK, and all. Why don't we bring the campuses of these institutions here, so they can have the courses in their own institutions, but they can have 1 or 2 semesters, they can go to these centers, and they can have, or even they can have independent courses and researchers with that campuses of the other universities. So that is internationalization and even digitalization. So many digital courses, and even in Kerala we have a digital university also. So making that integration of technology and ICT into our educational system or academic system is very, very important. And we have to keep that transparency. We want that transparency. Cannot be everything, cannot be. Even the assessment and all. We are making the assessment for learning. Assessment for learning, not for just getting some marks and all. So that transparency, and even we can show these are the methods, these are the ways, these are the ways we are going to assess, and this is the assessment norms, and this is the what is the assessment grades you have got also. So that type of a transparency is also needed in our higher education system. Then we can have outstanding faculty, effective faculty development program. So we are also on the involved with that sensitization and faculty development program. We have initiated under this after this NEP 2020 at the implementation level. We are offering the faculty development programs in almost all the universities in India. Then the 5 pillars which have been given by NEP, they are the accessibility, that higher education should be accessible to all. If they have the merit and they have the qualification, they have the competency, where should be accessible. Affordable also. It should not be, we should not say that much of money is needed, that much of time is needed. So affordability is also a question. We have to make it a to the people, to the that so that the people can, if they are, it is accessible, that is affordable also. Or if the finance is needed, financial support should be there. Or if you want to take a higher level research, then research funding is needed. So that is the most of the programs or training and all or research, it should be affordable and accountable also. Accountability is also very, very important. Once we get the money and all, that is not, we cannot misuse it. We should be accountable for the time. We have to accountable for the resources. Even we should be accountable for our assessment practices and all. Because we cannot, if we do not have an accountability, we cannot score or give marks as we wish and all. We should be judged by certain norms. So accountability should be practiced. Then equity and quality. These are the 5. Equity that I have already mentioned, and we have to maintain the quality. These they stated as the 5 pillars of higher education by NEP 2020. So that's all regarding the NEP 2020. We have mentioned about the vision of NEP 2020 and the future prospects of NEP 2020. Now we will get into our topic for the today, that is research and development. So how the research and development, we can have a discussion on that in the next 1 hour. Coming to the theme on research. As you know, we are all teachers. I started with the teaching. So we can say teaching is a treasure. That is, there is no doubt about it. And we have seen the need for teaching digital or any other ways. Teaching is a treasure. It imparts the knowledge, skills and all to the students. But research is a rich resource. You have to say that this I have taken from Dr. Abdul Kalam, that he says not only teaching is maybe a treasure, but to develop more resources into that treasure, we need a lot of research. And of course, you can say the third part is development, that is a destination. We have to achieve that quality is high quality, or we have to achieve that standards of life, that quality of life in India, so we can achieve that destination. So that's why teaching, research, and development, they are in very much interlinked. And as I told you, higher education, we have the, I can give you some more idea about the need for research. Let me go to the next slide. No, it is not coming. Dear friends, research is a key factor for advancing the frontiers of knowledge, then technology integration, skill enrichment, and even sustainable development of the society. Although we may say we can preach all these things, but once we come to how we do it, you have to do a lot of research. That's why even UNESCO says it is a prime force for development. Research, and we have seen, they have given the examples also. Most of the advanced countries, they are teaching and research. They have a very high quality of research, and that's why they are number one in the development sphere also. So these two are very well interconnected, and as I told you, it is a key factor for advancement, the frontiers of knowledge in every field, whether it's in health system or in environment or in family or in education. Everywhere we wanted to expand or bring new frontiers, then you have to do a lot of research. Then it is for need for technology integration and skill enrichment. Most of the skill enrichment programs now are based on our research, and the research we can develop the packages and all, so that easily the students can develop or enrich their skill. Then, to quote the golden words, I have already mentioned it earlier. To quote the golden words of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the former president, he gives a lot of importance to research in higher education, and he says research is basis for any development in any society, and he makes it a links that research is a basis for it leads to invention and then innovation and ultimately to development. And also he says research is needed. It is a problem solving process also. So from that point of view, we can say this is research is very, very important, and it is linked to development. Also, I will say research and teaching also has a very good linkage. You have to link, you can base your teaching also on research. That's not happening. We are going to and teaching from our textbook or from a curriculum-based teaching. But why don't you bring the research also into our classroom, so we can have a better linkage with the research and teaching. Next one. So let us define research, and now we will discuss about the different types of research and how research can be linked with the development. So first one is a definition I will give. Research is an endeavor to discover, develop, and verify knowledge. It is an intellectual exercise and a problem-solving process. This I have taken from Francis Trumnell, a renowned scientist. He says it's an endeavor to discover, develop, and verify knowledge. And also it is an intellectual exercise. You have to have your own thinking process, and it will lead to problem solving. And research, but it should be done in a very systematic way, in a critical, it's a critical and empirical inquiry which aims to contribute to the advancement of knowledge. And I can end up saying that research is a voyage of discovery. Its application, it is an application of scientific method to solve the problems of the society. Now, we can link that research with the development dimensions. First thing is I wanted to say, research, when we say it is an endeavor to, to endeavor to discover the knowledge, then development is linked to research. and the application of the research findings for the betterment of the society. There you can say that research leads to development, or application of the research findings can lead to, because if you do only research and if you bring some strategies and all, that is of course research, it is a scientific research, you are glorified. But if you make that to the to apply for the development of the people and society, if you enter into that state, you are linking research with the development. Okay, and research and development dimensions encompass a wider, it has it gives you a very, very wider network for growth and innovation, for the growth of if you want to bring innovations and all, then you have to go for research and development. That's why, as I told you, Dr. Abdul Kalam, when he was the president, we started having the research and development divisions, or research and development department in almost all our higher education institutions. He started that practice. Not only do you do research department and all, you make it as a research and development unit. So many of the universities in 2002 onwards, we started having research and development wing in Indian Institute of Science, in IITs. In many of the universities, they started research and development. It is because it will, that center will look into the research needs of the university, and also it will make how this research, that is the research findings, that can be applied for the betterment of the society, even to the betterment of the institution also. So that research and development dimension has come up. It encompasses a wide range of area crucial for the growth and innovation. No doubt about it. Although he started with much difficulty, now these practices have become, because it may not have permeated to all the higher education institution, but wherever there is a research and development unit, they have seen that the knowledge is developed there, but it is also applied for the needs of the people. It involves the exploration, development, and and the implementation of new techniques, strategies, and products. So, even the other way also you can look into. Why do we do research? Because we are first thinking in from the development point of view. What are the development policies needed? What are the development, what are the areas we have to look into the development for the development of that people there? Even if it is poverty, then poverty. Sustainable development, we have to see. And accordingly, we have to do research so that the research findings and the research, the knowledge and the skills developed by the research can be applied for the development of the people or development of the nation itself. Then research and development dynamics are at the core of the competitive edge. That's what I wanted to say lastly. That is, nowadays, if you do only research, your competitive edge is very low. Of course, you are a researcher, you can speak about your research and say that this is the invention and all. But once now it is a very competitive and challenging area. So you have to see how your research is going to help the people or how to develop the society. So the improvements, advancement, and the sustainable growth of the society, you have to show through your research, and it is a link to development. So it has a competitive or a cutting edge rather than only doing the research. That's why many of the Nobel Prizes now, you can say, they are related to the application aspects of the research. Earlier, they were doing more of theoretical research, but now we are encouraging much of the applied research. Then it leads to the development. So that's all regarding research and development dimensions. Then now we will go into the features of research and development. There are 3 points here I wanted to discuss with you. First one is, it is if you have the research and development, as we have already mentioned, Abdul Kalam, he says innovation. So innovation is the catalyst when we think in terms of research and development. So RD serves research and development as the primary catalyst for innovation, fostering creativity and innovative ideas, even for developing new products, new strategies, new methods, even now new treatment plans and all. Because earlier one may be successful, but we want to make some advanced one. So that fostering more creativity and even for fostering, driving the development of new products, new strategies, new intervention, new practices. That type of an innovation catalyst, we can say, when you link the research with the development. It plays a pivotal role in maintaining a competitive edge and and also meeting the evolving needs of the society. So it is, on one count, it is very innovative catalyst, and second one, it gives you the competitive advantage also. And the second point I wanted to highlight is the risk mitigation. Keeping pace with the innovative trends and development, it reduces the risk of obsolescence. Many of the things which we give, with research, we can mitigate the risk to a higher level. And because earlier, without research, we are making we make use of more of a trial and error. But here, with the research, we can say that with this level of confidence level, I can say this practice is good or this treatment is good, and it may have some time limitation. We can indicate that. So even they know the chemistry of what is happening, how it is happening, and that risk involved in it, that can be mitigated. So instead, along with the innovation and along with the competitive edge, the risk mitigation also happen if you do research with development. And also, research and development is a long-term strategy. It is not just a classroom strategy, or we can do it when 1 hour or 2 hours. It is establishing a robust research and development function which enables a long long period or a long-term strategic goals, and that also navigates through the dynamics of dynamic developmental landscape. When we have the developmental landscapes, if you do that with that development goals in hand, in mind, that we have that developmental landscapes in mind, accordingly we are doing the research so that it will become a long-term attribute or contribution. It is not that if I am making a research, that is, it's not only for a time being and all, because it is for a longer period of time, and even we can say these are the these are the longevity of these findings. Till this system is there, or these practices are there, this research and development will be effective. All these research products will be very effective. So that is the features. These 3 features you keep in mind. One is innovation. Second one is this risk mitigation. And third one is the long-term strategy. Now, we will discuss a little bit about the areas of focused areas of in research and development. Okay. Sorry, it has got dimensions. Yeah, innovative focus. Focus areas in research and development. So 3 focus areas you can add on to this. these areas, or even for you can have more areas with from your own discipline or your own research practices also. But I will say, first one is the scientific research, where we engage in the scientific research. That is the foundation of RD. And we will come to the scientific research. It is should be done in a objectively, in a very systematic way. It has its own steps and all. That it has its own methods and all. We cannot write like an essay and all in a research a project report and all. So it has its rules, methods. It has its own, even structure and norms. So that is very, very important. And when we do research, we have to make it as scientific as possible, providing a deep understanding of the principles, mechanisms, and even. Second one is you can do technological advancement. You can take into the R&D. You can sometime nowadays, actually, even you can say that data analysis. When we were students, that we took 6 months, 8 months for data analysis. We used to get data from our experiments and all. So we took a long time with the mechanical. Now we have that softwares. So the technology has come to the rescue. So technological advancement are there. Even for collecting data, you have a lot of Google platforms and all you can use. And, this will make the research, you can make the research more robust. And even we can make that research more transparent also. We have done this, and we have taken the technological, time and resources. We can limit, or we can save the time, we can save the resources if you do technology into your research programs, especially when you do long-term and research and development program. Try to take up this technological advancement, or plan to integrate technological integration or advancement into it. Then we can have a number of partnership. Earlier we have even we had a feeling that either we have to depend upon only our guide or only our library there. But now that cultivating a strategic partnership with the academic institutions and outstanding research scholars and research organizations, even industries and all, this has become that it's a collaborative strategic partnership. Even today I was in a NCRT, they had a national level study, and their strategic partners were all the state governments and their SCRTs, and they have collected the data on the schools, or from class from pre-primary to +2. They have collected the data on all from all the stages. How? Because the NCRT is a national body, but they have coordinated with the SCRTs in the in the country. So all the SCRT people, they have they were partners, or that partnership they have built up, and they have coordinated that very well. And final thesis or the report is based upon the report submitted by all of them. And even you can say it was individual unit research conducted at every state, but they will all bring together. Then it will become a strategic partnership and a national level study. So that that's what they are nowadays. They are recommending more of a collaborative research, no more of a research linking a number of institutions, number of colleges or universities. And even you can make universities or colleges outside India also as partners in your study. And that strategic partnership will help you to complete the study, and also to get even the financial support. Even UGC is also giving a lot of financial support if you have a good strategic plan. Then these are I have discussed. You can have some more areas of research and development. So some other strategies, if you have, we can discuss at the end or now. Now, I will discuss more about the research process and design. Okay, in the next 1 hour, we can go into the process of research. When we want to undertake a research, or we wanted to apply for a research proposal, or we wanted to have a collaborative research with other institutions and all, we have to make that, we have to know the research process. And this is needed for our own research programs and writing a proposal for the project, and even for guiding the students also. So, because we are not only we are doing our own personal research or individual research, we have to promote research among our learners or among our other partners also. So, the first thing I will say in a research process is choosing a topic. There is nothing other than that. You have to find out a problem which can be related to your area of knowledge, or whether you have a competency in that area, or which you can develop that competency. That choose a problem from that area. That is very, very important. Yet we cannot, there will be a teen number of problems. Perhaps I may not be able to do a critical research in a critical research from a medical discipline. I may have to, because I may not have that competency. So I can have very well, choose from the discipline psychology or physics, which is my background. So that's why perhaps they are introducing research after the postgraduate degree. So when you are a scholar or a master of that knowledge, then you can easily have, or of course, you can have interdisciplinary research and all. You can cultivate that knowledge and do it. But they also say 3 C's are very, very important when you choose a topic. I don't know whether you have followed this. One is your competency. That is whether you have the knowledge in that area. Second one is, second one is you have to have a curiosity in that. You can, if you are, if somebody makes you or force you to do research, you may not be very creative. That's why it should be a creative endeavor also. So we want to have, first one is competence. Second one is we have to have a curiosity. And even when we take up the students for our PhD and all, we wanted to generate this curiosity among our students, so that they will always be motivated to, to take up that and to complete that study. So that's very, very important, second C. And third C is contribution. This is the part sometimes we neglect. We are competent. We have we have that, we have got that topic selected and all, and we are very creative, curious and all. But once you complete that research, we never think about its contribution. That is contribution, how your research is going to help the people. Or if you are doing the research from a experimental research from a science background, how is going to help your discipline, your laboratory methods, or your students, and to the public. So that part is also very, very important. Then especially in research and development, I will say the third C is very important. That is your competence, your curiosity, and third one is the contribution. How this research is going to contribute to the society, or to yourself, or to the people around you, or to the students and all. So, or to the system, or to the country. So that's very, very important. Then based upon that, you can choose a very good topic. And there are plenty of topics for research in any field, whether it is in sociology or even in languages and all. We have up to number of areas to do research. So you choose a topic. You should be always sensitive to that discipline or subject and cultivate that curiosity, then you can do research. Second one is research questions.
you can have when you take a topic for research or finalize your title for your study and all, then you have to think that why this study is I have taken and how I am going to complete this study. And that another question is what are the changes or what are the contribution it is going to take, or whether we can this will be a better than the previous thing. It is already previous practices or treatment and other things are there. Whether we can give some advancement of knowledge or new practices that will help the people. So you have to identify the research gaps and find out this research from this research gap I can have this research can be taken up so that you raise that questions, and these questions they will become the challenges to complete your study. So that research questions are very, very important. From the research questions you can write down your objectives and your hypothesis. So anyway, even without hypothesis and all, you can do qualitative research and all, but research questions are very, very important. Choosing the topic. Second one is raising the research questions. And based upon this, I will say the conceptual part of the research, then you have to design the study. In designing the study, you have to, there we need to know about the research practices or what is the research, how it can be done. That is steps in research or the methods in research or the techniques, various techniques in research. You should know. Based upon that, you can make it to a research design. Whether you are going to have an experimental study, whether you are going to have a survey study or a case study or a qualitative study and all, that you have to fix it. That's why sometimes the students need or the scholars need the help of a senior faculty member. That's why we have that research guides or research supervisor or nowadays a team of scholars are helping a student also. Many universities have come up. These are the team. Of course, one person may be the principal supervisor, but that he will be guided by a team of scholars or team of professors. So that from that they should help him, but we will give a chance to the scholar to design his research. And while designing the research, first one I told that you have to decide about the method of research. That's very, very important. Obtain number of research methods are coming out. Even you can develop your own research methods, like ethnographic studies, phenomenology, and all. We have developed these qualitative methods of late. So you can also bring out them. I will discuss many of the designs now, but designing or the method, identifying the method is very, very important. That is an important aspect of research design. Second one is you have to decide where is your area of study, the population and the sample. From where you will collect the data. Whether it is sometime it will be secondary data from the textbook or curriculum framework and other things. But otherwise, sometime it will be the data from the reviewing beings, from the students, from the teacher, from the villagers, from the experts and all. So that you have to collect the data. Sometime it will be through experiments you generate the data. So in any way that you have to have the source data sources, and you have to explain that data sources and how to generate the data sources. That data sources also should be representative. If you are doing a not representative, sometimes that study findings may not be applicable to the whole population. So it will be very, very important. We have to have an ideal sample or the population parameters first. Then from that, we will collect the data representing the various aspects of the population. So sample and population, they are very, very important. Method I have already told. Third one is how you get that data. The data will be with the records or with the people and all. but we have to get that data. For that, you have to develop a number of tools and techniques. Tools and techniques, now, many of the researchers have come to that extent that merit of the thesis depends only on the type of tools they develop. Especially in sciences and all, they develop. Instrumentation is a very important part in the research in technology and science. Once they develop the technology, that itself will give them a credit, and that will be a part of their research. Even in social sciences also, in psychology and all, I know the development of an intelligence test, performance intelligence test, that itself can become, it is a contribution to the third, and it can become a study. So, but you have to develop that in a very systematic way with all the norms and how it can be practiced and be used and all. So, the development of the tools, or you can have the other way also. There are already existing or developed tools, so we can adopt or take that tools for your study. No need, because repetition is not needed there. When there is already an intelligence test, or when already this test or this scale is already there, why do you go for generating another one if this is feasible? So anyway, it is up to the investigator to say, to plan the study, whether you have to create a new tool or not for the study. Better, it is always a contribution, methodological contribution. If you develop a scale or a test or even any strategy for collecting the data. So sample is important, methods are important, and the tools of data collections are also important. That is why we have a fairly good amount of time, maybe 3 years or 5 years students take for doing a PhD or a research, even completing a research project. So we need it because we have to take these things very systematically. And the next part in the design is the fourth component is how you are going to collect the data from the sample. Either you have to conduct the experiments, you can design the lab and or the school or the classroom or the field. From the field also you can make social experiments also, but you have to collect the data from them. That's very, very important. Yeah. Now, third one is that procedure of data collection or logistic of data collection is very, very important. How you will make use of the tool, what are the methods you have to use, and what are the sample, and how are you going to collect the data from them. That is very, very important. And if you don't use the data logics, sometimes your findings will be flop. And they will say, that is, you will get into all wrong findings because your data tool collection procedure was not good enough or strong enough, I will say. So we have to get very good data. And the data, unless you collect the right type of or authentic type of data, that will not yield to any type of application at a later stage. You will find fault with, and people are not able to accept your products or your practices. So data collection logistics also is important. Many students, they neglect that data collection logistics. Even sometimes we have, we are compelled to, compelled to that PhD thesis to not to qualify a PhD thesis based out on their data collection logistics. They will discuss all about their experiment and about their experimental group. But what happened, how you treated the control group is completely absent. On the basis of that the experimental proof is not true, because you are simply telling there is a control group. What happened to the control group? How you maintain that control group? Or what was the exposure for that control group? That you have to make. So that is the data collection logistics is also very important. And the fifth one is data analysis. You have to have the right type of test for analyzing the data. If you are using quantitative method, you have to use advanced statistical methods like correlation, inferential statistics, you have to go to that level. Inferential statistics like regression, correlation, then ANOVA analysis of variance, vector analysis, path analysis, and all. But if you are having a small, study with the qualitative data and all, then you need not go into that. But we have a number of qualitative methods also that you have to use. The reconstruction, profiling. So, you can have more logical derivations or logical analysis in your qualitative data rather than statistical analysis in the quantitative data. So we will discuss about it again, and I will give you the softwares for both qualitative and quantitative analysis. Then you have to collect the data, you have to analyze the data through the using the tools and all. Then not only that analysis of the data, you have to interpret the data and how this data, then only that data, you have to interpret it from the context of the study and from the context of your, variables or the statistical terms and all you have used. You have to interpret the data, and then only we can come up with this is a very authentic work, and you can have this type of findings, and that can be applicable to the people and all. So otherwise, sometimes we will be completely faulty with our findings. So interpretation of the data is also important. But as a faculty member, I will say the last one is also important. Having done all these things, perhaps you are, even for a research student also, may make them that they have to write this research report very well. Connecting all these things, how they choose the topic, research questions, objectives, design, collecting data, analysis of data, interpretation, and implication and findings, and if they can have their recommendations and all. But informing others is very, very important. That is your research report, either the PhD or MPhil research report, or your publication based on this report, your projects report. They are all, you have to write that very well and communicate that. Now, we have so many platforms. You can, earlier we have books or journals and all. Now we have, websites and all, Google formats and all. You can make use of this IT gadgets and all for informing others, so that whatever you have done, that will become applicable and useful for the people. Then only you are linking research with the development. Thank you very much, and I will stop here for 15 minutes. If you have any questions, now you can ask, or immediately after, when you come back, you can have questions. Otherwise, we will discuss the other type of the research design. Mainly, what are this is only in a general way I have given you the the research process, but how there are different types of research and different methods of research. So that we will examine in the next session. Only one more steps I will tell. Can you show me the next one? Yeah, please note the steps in research. Whatever I have discussed in the process of research, and you can make it in a very systematic way. Selection of the problem is important. Review of literature is very important. You can have the research questions, and from that you can develop the objectives and hypothesis. Then prepare a research design. Then you have to have the data collection, from where, the area, the population, and the sample. And from the sample, you have to collect the data through your tools and techniques. You can use your tools and techniques, and there are obtain number of tools and techniques. Either you can develop or you can adapt other tools and all for your data. And analysis of data, any type. You have to analyze the data. Without analysis, just collecting and showing that, recording the data will not become a research. You have to analyze them, and from the analysis you have to conclude and come up with your suggestion. And these are the 7 steps. And if you write all these steps in order, that how you have selected the problem, your review of literature, your hypothesis objectives, and what are the methods you have used, what is the sample, and what are the tools and techniques you have used, how you have collected the data, and the analysis of the data in a separate chapter you can give with all your statistical or non-statistical, logical analysis. Then you can have a summary and conclusion. This will consist of it is a very systematic, very polite or very passionate way of doing the research and making a report. Based upon this, if you write it in a very systematic way, covering all these steps in order, then it will become a very fine research report. But if you have other ideas, or if you have done some more, added forms of research, like in mixed method and all, I will tell you, you can include and you can modify these steps for your own research project. Thank you. And we will, have a break, and we will meet at 6 o'clock, dear friends. If there are some questions, I can answer now, or I can answer the questions immediately after the break. Thank you. Sorry, some showering is there. You can forget it. Good, thank you.
എന്തെങ്കിലും വേണമെങ്കിൽ സാർ പറഞ്ഞാൽ മതി.
വേണ്ട, ഒന്നുമില്ല. ഇപ്പൊ എല്ലാം സിസ്റ്റം ശരിയായി. ഇപ്പൊ ഇത് ടച്ച് ചെയ്യുമ്പോ എങ്ങനെയാണ്
ഇവിടെ റെഡ് വരും, അതായത് അവരുടെ കൺട്രോളിലാണെങ്കിൽ ഇവിടെ റെഡ് വരും.
ഓ, ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മള് സംസാരിക്കുന്നത് കേൾക്കാണ്ടിരിക്കുക. അതെവിടെയാ ഓഡിയോ? കിട്ടിയില്ല. ഓഡിയോ നമുക്ക് ഓഫാക്കാം. അതർവൈസ് Hello. Hello, can we start, dear friends?
Yes,
Dear,
sir. Yes, sir.
yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir. Okay, so now in the earlier part or the first session, we have seen the goals of higher education, and also we have seen the higher education from the context or the vision of NEP 2020. Then we have introduced the research and development. What is research and how it has to be related to development. So that also we have seen. And finally, we have to now, if you want to have research and development and all, the basic thing is we have to do a good research projects. What we are doing now, that has to be done very qualitative or in a very high standard way. So we have to use, we have to follow, we have to do it in a very systematic way. That research, that is very, very important, very objective, very systematic, and a high quality research that will contribute many things to our any problem is there or any strategies we want, so we can bring it through our research. So to solve that problem, that is, they say that it is a problem solving process also. So your mind, your initiative, your ideas should come into the research. Now, even though whatever it is, then we have to follow certain dimensions in research. One of the dimensions, the most focal dimensions, I will say, to make a research very, very authentic and make research very systematic and the research very scholarly also, you have to follow the right type of designs. So now a number of designs are coming up in research. Earlier we have, I have already told you the steps and the process in research, but we can follow that. But beyond that, we can have, it is not only one type of research for all problem. You can have pick and choose a number of designs. And main research designs, we can say that we can have either quantitative research, we can have qualitative research, or we can have a mixed method research. So we will understand what are these designs and how they can be formulated for the research, either at MPhil is no more there, or at PhD level, or when we take up projects and all, we can utilize this research designs. Now, first one is the qualitative. We will discuss about what is the difference between quantitative and qualitative research, and we will examine some of the qualitative research designs first, then we will go into the mixed method design. That qualitative, in the qualitative design, it's not coming. Hello. So in the quantitative, first one is the quantitative research. We are mostly prone to do the quantitative research. By this, an inquiry into an identified problem by collecting numerical data and analyzing using the statistical method. That is the quantitative research. Make use of the, we have a identified problem, then we will have the data, and that data we will have a numerical data. Unless you have a numerical data, we cannot use this qualitative design. So sorry, quantitative design. So numerical data means either we have to have the data in numbers or in weightages, and some weightage we have to bring, or in grades and all, we can make a quantitative type of research design, and it should be measurable. And then we can, when the data is there, we can, that data is prone to or good to have statistical, we can use any statistical method for on that data. Unless you can use that statistical data, it will never become a quantitative research method. So I will say it is an inquiry into an identified problem by collecting numerical data and analyze using statistical techniques. And it deals with always with presuppositions. So we develop the hypothesis. We will have mostly the deductive approach when you have the quantitative studies. And it uses measurable data. We have to use the tools and techniques that will come up with the measuring, and that should give the data in numbers, or the numerical data should come up, and it can uncover the patterns in research also. Whatever is implied in that problem, we can bring out through statistical analysis in a quantitative research. So quantitative research is very, very important. And most of us are, even I remember I have been trained when I was a student in Kerala University. They have trained me very well to do the, quantitative analysis and quantitative studies. And sorry, some problem is coming up. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I will go into the details about the quantitative study. No, but it has been stuck up, okay. Anyway, I will come back to the, to the slides later. Please excuse me, I'm not able to. Can you move? Yeah, sorry. Can you move the slides from that side? It has already completely gone. Okay, sorry. Second part type of research is the as against the quantitative research. We can use even qualitative research. Suppose a student doesn't want to have statistical analysis, or his studies, suppose a student of language or research or history, or even in sciences also, sometimes even in psychology and all, we have seen there is no need of a quantitative data, and we will not get the data in a numerical way. In that case, dear friends or scholars, you can go for qualitative research. It is used to gain a deeper understanding of the problem and solution. That is, if you want to have, even we can develop theories on the basis of the qualitative research. We can solve, we can bring up strategies on the basis of the qualitative research. I will give you some examples, then I will explain it. Your case study is a qualitative research. Your ethnographic analysis or narrative analysis, these are all qualitative. And in language, in history, even in psychology and all, we will better use the qualitative research than the quantitative research, where the data only comes in a qualitative way. We cannot convert that data into numerical or the quantitative data. We do not want to convert it into that, or that either the data is not amiable to convert it to numbers, or we don't want that. We wanted to solve that problem without making into a quantitative aspect. So such studies, we can say, they are known as the qualitative studies, and it helps to develop ideas, theories, and go to the next step. Sorry, it was. Sorry. Yeah, you can bring it to the next. Dear friends, I have already explained about the quantitative research. It's an inquiry into an identified problem by collecting numerical data. Very, very important. And analyzing through statistical technique. Deals with the deductive. These three are very important when you explain a quantitative research: numerical data, statistical technique, and deductive approach. And measurable data for facts and uncover patterns in research. So, but you can go for the other type opposite to this qualitative. You can say we have the qualitative research. In qualitative research, we wanted to, it is used to gain deeper understanding of the problem or the issue. And we wanted to have to solve that problem. It is not, we don't want to make the norms and all, but we want to make the solutions or strategies to intervene and solve that problem. So such studies, without making any numerical data and statistical analysis, if you can do that, can be the qualitative. I can give you some examples from my psychology, like Sigmund Freud. He did it. Psychosocial theory of personality. We can call him as the father of personality theories and all. But he never used, he did a lot of research, but he never used any quantitative or statistical analysis and all. But thus he was using the case analysis and narrative analysis very well. And he has come up with from that results, from that data, he has developed his theories on personality. It develops, it helps to develop ideas and uncover trends in thoughts and opinions. Because if you want to, about like a labor problem, we have, or child labor problem and all. Sometime it may be, we may not be able to uncover what are the trends behind it, how it is happening in India, or how is this happening in Tamil Nadu and all. We are, there, and we wanted to check that child labor and all. We want to stop. In such cases, it is better to go for qualitative research. No need to go to quantitative research. You may not, quantitative research will give you, the results based on the statistical, tests and all. Here, you can apply that research and you can study the problem in deeper and come up with the solutions or strategies. That's why we merit qualitative research a lot. And many of the outstanding studies in personality, in education, even in science also, many of the studies are based on the qualitative research. And it is, methods used are mostly, you can use the individual interviews, participant observation, focus group discussions. These are all very good strategies for the qualitative research. You need not use any scales or tests for collecting data. So if the data is available in verbal form or in a narrative form, you can do qualitative research. Then I have brought some comparison or distinction between qualitative and quantitative designs. One is, the purpose is to find a relationship, cause and effect. You have to go for quantitative research, like experimental research and all. If you want to find the cause and effect, and if you want whether it is effective or not, that you have to go for quantitative. If you want to examine the phenomena,
रवायला पाहिजे तिथं तर हाय का ते सांग मला त्याला स्प्रे घेतला की लॉट उठते का
hello, hello, hello. Any questions or anything? Hello, hello.
Somebody got an
Somebody is second one is the design level. When you design, we have to, in quantitative research, that is designed a priori, because before we start or we go to the field, we have to develop that study design. Whereas in qualitative, it is a very flexible and it evolves. That design is made. You can change the design during the study also. So we evolve that study during that process. Third one is the approach wise. As I told you, quantitative uses the deductive and it tests the theory and hypothesis. These are very much needed. You have to develop the theory, or you have to a theory should be based on the theory, and you have to develop the hypothesis and test the hypothesis. Whereas in qualitative, it is an inductive method, and may generate a theory at the end. We can come up with the theory at the end. Initially, we need not go for a theory based on that. And many of the studies like women empowerment, youth empowerment and all, we have developed the theory and the models based on the study. That the results of the study will lead to a theory. Then tools for the research are pre-selected instruments which will give you the numerical data like achievement test, attitude scales, personality tests, intelligence scales and all. So that advanced scaling is needed, or measurement instruments are required in quantitative research. Whereas in qualitative research, you need not go for any advanced, but you have to collect that, decipher the data. Either you can use observation techniques, or you can have interview methods, or you can have even questionnaires and all. That data should be, we wanted to gather that data in different ways. Then third one is the, another point is the sample. In quantitative data, we use a large samples, like even it should be more than 30, because then only we can, that statistical test will be, that results will be correct. So we have to have large samples, more than 30, even 300, 500,000 and all. Because if you have a number of classificatory groups in your sample, then you have to make the sample size very high. Whereas in qualitative research, you can have very small sample. Like a case study, you can have one cases, or a study on a village system, you can have one unit of the village, or one industry you can take, or a few cases also you can take, because we are not going for statistical analysis. So the third one is the, last one is the statistical analysis of numerical data is very, very important. You have to use the descriptive statistics, like mean, median, mode, and all these things. Then you have to go for the inferential statistics, advanced statistical techniques you can use, especially the statistical software, or you can very well use for quantitative analysis of the data. Whereas in qualitative analysis, you can use narrative, descriptive analysis, or logical analysis and interpret that data. We have some qualitative methods I will give you at a later stage, and also the software also are also there for qualitative analysis. We will discuss it at the end of this session. Now we will discuss some of the research designs. What are the quantitative? You may ask me, you are telling about the qualitative and quantitative studies and all, but what are the designs possible in this? There are a number of designs, friends, in qualitative as well as in quantitative. Quantitative is experimental, descriptive, correlational, and causal comparative. This I have taken from class, that Creswell's Handbook of Research. But this quantitative, you may be doing it already. So I am not going into a in-depth discussion on that. I will concentrate myself more on qualitative research. But if needed, we will take out this description about experimental, descriptive, correlation, or causal comparative studies later. Now coming to qualitative studies, I told you, because these are we are being followed in our universities or higher education system. But in qualitative, there is a need for popularizing and need for undertaking studies with qualitative research or qualitative methods. Then 4 methods I have given here. A number of other methods are also there. The more very popular methods are ethnography, phenomenology, grounded theory, and case study. So these are, classical or traditional research designs advised by or brought out by Creswell in his book 1998. At the turn of the century, this book was very, very important, and these were being prescribed for research students at all levels, especially in their PhD coursework and all. These classical traditions of research given by Creswell. So the qualitative, we will examine now all these qualitative designs one by one. Then, as I have told you, quantitative designs are there, but we will better go into the qualitative design. That these are ethnography, phenomenology, case study and all. First of all, let us examine ethnography. It is a description or an interpretation of a distinct group. Any group, if you want to take it up and want to know a detailed knowledge about that, or if you want to know about the people, their custom, their traditions, their way of life, there is no better research method than the ethnography. And when we were in Mizoram and all, we were compelled. Earlier, I may not be knowing much of this ethnography, but the university insisted that you should go for ethnographic research of the tribal population and find out their traditions, their way of life, and what are the interventions we needed for bringing this society or making this society more vibrant and all. That methods, if we can use this ethnography very well. But I will say ethnography is nothing but portrayal or profiling of these people in their natural life situation. Any people, anywhere, you can portray them and you can profile them about their minute details. You can profile very well, that you can say it's an ethnography. Like you can have an ethnography of your classroom. You have a classroom and you have different types of students coming from different area, from different communities, and different, they may have different ways of dress and all. So you can, if you can portray and profile that. So if you, and this is a most noted method or most profitable and most glorified method when in the tribal studies and all. Suppose I was in Northeastern Hill University. So there, Varian Elvin studies about that Nagas or Arunachal, people from Arunachal Pradesh and all. He has only used this ethnography. And he has used it in such a way, and he had taken, he has brought out a number of articles and books based on his ethnographic study. That we have to study the patterns of their behavior. That's very, very important. Customs, traditions, and practices we have to note down, and we have to have their ways of life. And what are the challenges? What are the problems? And what are the transformation coming to this study, to the people, that we can examine to an ethnographic study. And when you do ethnographic, you have to see two aspects or two features of ethnographic study, I will say. One is the emic, another one is the ethic. Emic is the insider's view. That is how the people see their community, their culture, their traditions and all. So this you can, through your, when you get the data from them, and you can use the logic, how they interpret that, how they make use of that, and what is their opinion, attitude towards that, those issues and all. That we can call as the emic. And sometimes we have to give we should be very careful that that should be authentic emic. Otherwise, they may take you to a different way, so it will not be meaningful. So we have to ascertain they are authentic and valid, data. Second one is the outsider's view. Sometimes outsider's view means as a researcher, how do you see that? Or as a person from outside. Like let us see, an outsider means a person who is coming to that situation, or a scholar who is not from that culture, but he is brought to that situation and he is studying that, then it will become a ethic or the outsider's view. So the best research in ethnography, they will have less number of error between emic and ethic. That insider's view and outsider's view, if they collaborate well, and if there are not many deviants, or even I will say 10% deviance, the case different from others, then don't accept. So if there is a less than 10%, we can accept that data in an ethnographic study, and you can write about them, about their life, about their challenges, about their changes, even social changes, and even social stratifications, social mobility and all, you can study very well. So even the economic issues and their problems related to health, related to various aspects, domestic problems and all, we can better profile through ethnographic study. So it's a very important, very good study. You can, no need of going for a sampling and tool construction and all. It is, you can involve with that society, and we can go there and note down or profile. And for this ethnographic studies, there is a scientist known as Robert Chambers. He's a veteran for this qualitative research and ethnographic studies and all. And he has prescribed some tools, participatory appraisals or participatory rural appraisals. You can participate with them. You can have participatory observation and participatory appraisal. What they say and all, you can record it and bring it together. That is that participative PRA method that is very much popularized, and that can be used. That participatory methods we may not be able to convert it into a measurable or to the numbers and all, but you can say their problems, issues, their views, attitudes and all. We can find out, or we can filter from that. That's why Robert Chambers gives lots of importance for PRA. Another one prescribed by Robert Chambers and used by a number of tribal researchers, that is on that seasonal calendars. That is, they may have different seasons and the different variations within that seasons so that if you can depict that, that is also very, very important. Seasonal calendar and seasonal variations you have to depict in their lifestyle and all. Sometimes some of the responses will be based upon that seasonal, that situations and all. What the dress they are using during the winter season may not be acceptable for the summer seasons and all. But so don't write only with when you conduct the research in summer seasons. You may write about and you have found and you have observed it, but you have to check it with the seasonal calendars is very, very important. Then third one is that you have to resource maps also you can use in ethnography. What are the resources available in that, in that for that community or for that village or that, region? You can have what are the transport system, health system, and economic occupational avenues. Then how is the school and other system, education system? You have to present it in graphical way, saying you can map it very well and bring it together. And from the map, we can study and read what are the resources available and what are the limitations in their resources and how these resources are better. How can these resources can be better used? That is a challenge for your research. So this PRA you can use, seasonal calendar you can use. Then you can have even resource maps and transact walk. You can have a transact walk. That is, Robert Chambers says you have to walk through the entire community and you can hold meetings with them or while walking also you can have, or we can have at different corners, you can have some meetings. So the transact walks are also very, very important. So these are the tools. You need not go for intelligence or performance test and all. You can use this transact walk or concept maps, seasonal calendars, and PRA for when you use this ethnography as a method of your research. And nowadays, you will get proposals if you get, whenever you study a community, whenever you study the tribals, or whenever you study some of the institutions or indigenous knowledge system, you can use this ethnographic method very well. So we will go to the next one. Second one is the second qualitative, very important qualitative method is the phenomenology. That is a construction. We have to study a phenomenon, but we can construct that phenomenon, that knowledge or skills or the entire problems, issues related to that phenomenon we can have from the encounters. How these encounters happen and how we reveal the details or the data from them. We have to construct the whole data in a phenomenon. It is not like profiling from in an ethnographic method, we profile, we observe and all. In phenomenal method, in phenomenology, what you do is you have to focus on that phenomena which you are studying and understand the participants' perspectives and views. We have to have the discourse analysis. You can ask the participants, they are from their system, or they can tell you about what has happened, how it has happened during the corona period. Sometimes we may not be able, we can write from only from the secondary data. That's not the phenomenological study. Those who have undergone that corona and all, if you can collect the data, what happened to them, how they have got this phenomenon, this corona, and whatever the healthcare system and what protocols they have used, how they have survived that corona. So that is very, very important. So a person who have undergone that effect of that phenomena, you take care of them as your sample, and from their discourses you narrate everything. That is known as the phenomenological. That is the perspectives and views of the people who are involved with that phenomenon. Not from, you need not collect from a generalistic view from many people and all. That it is from their inside discourses they will come out and they will tell. And even this phenomenal method you can use in a classroom also. You may not be knowing what has happened in the classroom, and it has gone into a very big problem. That you can see a phenomenon method. You can ask the students, come one or two the students, ask them what happened, how happened and all. So we can use this very well to reveal that happening in a system or in an encounter and all, or even sometime. And this methodology, phenomenon method, has come from the that Nazi, during the World War, that Nazis, they were even in the, many of them survived that Nazi execution, and they came out of that, and they were so scared. So they were so anxious, they were so stressful, and they have faced the death in the Nazi concentration camps. But they survived somehow, and we wanted to know a real picture of what is going on in that Nazi camps and all. They have conducted the studies from the people, survivors of this Nazi, attack, or Nazi, they were captured, and but they have come up, or the survivors of that phenomenon. We have taken them. Now, in another way, sometimes it may so happen we may not get such a person as a sample to collect the data. So instead of making them as the sample, you can send a person and he can feel the whole situation, and he can also narrate what has gone in that situation or in the camp, or especially in your NSS camp or medical camp, or if you have a cultural event. So if there is something, if you want to know about it, you can put 1 or 2 investigators and give them. These are the things you have to report, and on the basis of that, we can say whether we have achieved or not. So a phenomenal analysis is the one which gives, that is, we get back that data from a person who have become a part of that phenomenon, or that part of that, he has faced that situation and all. Analysis specific experiences, context and situation, and researchers' personal experience with the phenomenon. That is very, very important. Even a researcher can go there. He can stay there. That has happened in the case of Varian Elvin. He has come as a Oxford University Blue, the top scholar. And when he came to India, he went to Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhiji told, we don't want you in Wardha. You go to the northeastern states and Orissa and all. So he stayed and lived there, and he conducted the phenomenological study. He became a participant, a member of that community. He followed their customs and all, and after staying there for more than 6 months, 7 months and all, from there he got first-hand primary experiences, and that became the data for his studies. Writing about the various books he has written about tribals in Orissa, the Nagas, about Meghalaya, where people, tribes from the Meghalaya and all, Khasis and all. So that such studies, wonderful studies, especially phenomenology, was rooted in anthropology, and it has become a part of qualitative research in any other field. Even in science also, we can make use of this this analysis, critical analysis, through phenomenology, dear friends. Now, the third one is the grounded theory approach. This is this theory. It is collect the data systematically through grassroots level, and like a classroom context. It is known as the bottom-up approach. It is, instead of developing objectives and about hypothesis and all, first you go and you interact with the people and examine that their situation, and from there you collect the data. Like this grounded theory method, one of my student got a student, Dr. Hilaria Sundari, he used for the empowerment of women, and she found that that grounded theory was very, very good and very effective in studying their domestic problems and their economic problem, their educational problems, and even their interaction, communication. Many problems were there for the women. So she wanted to study them and want to empower them. So she studied the women at the grassroots level, and then she, based upon that study, she developed the microcredits, and she developed started a number of programs for them, and like self-help groups. He made that, organized them into self-help groups and all. So that is a bottom-up approach. You collect the data from the bottom level and go. Mainly, it is being used as a observation method. You go there, interact with them, observe with them, and from there you try to connect the theory approach. Even some studies were there in Gandhigram University. They have studied the female infanticide. So in Tamil Nadu, as you know, there were a lot of female infanticide. That is, female children, they were killed immediately after the birth. And there were some very, very aggressive method also they were using. Very cruel methods also they were using. So one of our scholars, he went and studied this grounded theory. He made them, and he became a part of that area where this killing of the girl child or female infanticide was rampant. And many of them, they were not able We do not have any records and all. And, only by interacting with them and from the ground or the ground reality or grassroots reality, we can identify these were the reason by which and how many children were killed, how many, what was the reason, how they were killed, and what are the strategies. Based upon that, that scholar has developed some of the strategies like Amatotil and all. You need not kill them, you give it to this, we will take care of them. And even they are being paid in Gandhi, in Tamil Nadu. Jayalalitha was very, was instrumental. She was a political leader who take this into consideration and to stop this female infanticides from the, the research studies. So I wanted to say that the grounded theory method they have used, and they did outstanding research, and they came up with these incidences of female infanticide, and they suggested strategies, and there was political intervention. Now this female infanticide is very, very low. Maybe there can be stray cases of male infanticide or female infanticide, but it was rampant during the 1970s, and it has been stopped. So I will say that is also a part of the development. So how the research, a grounded theory method, has come up with studying that phenomenon and from the grassroots level and bring out these strategies, and a government taking making use of that strategy to stop or overcome that incidences there. So that's why we wanted to say it is such a high level research which is very productive and which is very development oriented. You can use this qualitative method. Perhaps in quantitative method it would not have been achieved. They have all used qualitative methods very well. So that is, if you have any questions or you can have some suggestions or examples, you can give it to me at a later stage. Now, next one is a case study. This I need not explain much. Many of us we are using case studies. It is an intensive, but you have to make the case study very systematic. Don't make it as a very formal study and all, writing just like case study and all. It is an intensive analysis of a particular case. It can be of a individual case study or an institutional case study, or it can be about a culture, about a group of people. Very in-depth, because we take that as a case and we find out the whole details about that case through this systematic method. Or even we can say it is a deeper analysis of a phenomenon, of a case under investigation. Involves in-depth longitudinal examination of a single event. And Frederick Lepley, he in 1980s, he introduced this method, and Glasser and Strasser further developed this method. And now there are a number of different types of case analysis. That case study, intrinsic case studies. That case study, intrinsic means you have to find out what are inside that inside aspects which has gone wrong. For that inside, we are studying from inside, from within inside, then only it will become an intrinsic study. From the people or from that institution, we have to dug out the things from within that institution or the people there. That is an intrinsic case study. Whereas in instrumental case study, you can use a number of instruments, or you can see some of the people or the group or the associations and all which were involved with that institution. You can make it as an instrumental. That these associations or these people, we are making them instrumental for getting an idea about an institution. Like a university, we wanted to make a in-depth study of a university. We can have an instrumental study by making that, you can take the help from the different type of, there are 4 or 5 deals. So we can collect the data. They are instrumental in achieving the academic things. Or you can collect the data from the controller of examination. He is instrumental in conducting the examinations and all. So this within that, you make the different parameters of the people inside and make use of them for collecting your data. Then third one is the multiple case study. Multiple case study means, a case study, sometime one institution you can study, but you can have a number of institutions in the case study, then you can have a comparison between these different cases also. Multiple case study, sometimes cases may vary sometime in a very low manner or in a proportionate manner. They may change from one to another one. There it is better to have a multiple case study rather than a single study of an institution. I will tell you some of the multiple case studies or the aided colleges in Kerala. We have conducted a multiple case study. It was a case study of all the institutions under the aided system. So we have made that aided multiple cases we have brought in. And under that case study, we have, engineering colleges, we have medical colleges, we have teacher education colleges, but we were studying about that institutions at the tertiary higher education institution, under the aided, not the government. That may be different. So here, but different types of institutions, how they are managed. But the practical point is how a system works, this educational system work from a aided point of view. Are you getting? So it is not a government grants and all they are getting, but in an aided system, what are the rules about the management system and the profits for the teachers, their research, their teaching, and all these things we can study. So that's why we can have multiple case studies also to understanding some of the different institutions or different the problems related to that institutions and even their achievements and all. So we have a number of case studies, different types of case studies. Any one of them you can use. Now they were the traditional methods of qualitative methods. That is, I have already discussed about the ethnography, case analysis, then phenomenology, and that grounded theory method. They were considered as the traditional method here first. But we have very innovative methods also under the qualitative design. You can have a SWOT analysis. You may be familiar with the SWOT analysis. Now it is not a SWOT, it is SWOC analysis, SWOC. That is strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges. SWOC analysis, even NEP uses SWOC analysis when they study about an educational institution. What are their strengths? Faculty-wise, infrastructure, academic courses, student strength, all these things we take it into the strength. And what are the weaknesses where there is a less number of faculty? And even in the last class also they were discussing about that. Sir, this weakness is very high in our colleges and universities now because there are not qualified staff in many of the universities and colleges. But there are steps taken recently to fill up this post. So the weaknesses also we have to find out and tell them. Unless we overcome the weaknesses, then the system will not work properly. Then opportunities. Sometimes there cannot be all the outstanding personnel or in an institution, like even in a hospital and all. Sometimes a chest specialist or heart specialist may not be there. But the SWOT analysis says there is an opportunity they can bring. If you have a problem and it is a multi-specialty hospital, if they can bring get a person at that appropriate time, it is an opportunity. Sometimes even in our universities and colleges, we may not have labs. Sometimes we may not have instruments and all in our universities or colleges. But if we can develop it, is very good. That will become a strength. But otherwise, we can have the opportunities to taking or sharing with other institutions and all. If that method is possible, then that also is good. That's what they say, opportunities. Then last one is the SOC, is that challenges or threats we have to keep in mind. Always there will be a threat to our institution or into our, even to our whatever we are doing. Sometimes there will challenges will come. They will stop funds. They will stop attention to us. And even sometimes they will make quarrels. And even they were the entrance test and all, it will be, we will not get enough students because a number of other institutions have come up. So these are all, the challenges. We have to see that this, how to overcome these challenges. So the first two, strengths and weaknesses are internal, opportunities and challenges are external factors. So if you take care of these four factors, your institution or your, college or university or hospital is very outstanding. Even when you are a research scholar also, you can think, or in a project, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, what are my opportunities, from where we will get support, that money and all these things we can take it up. Then also the challenges, whether I can complete this work within a year or two, and what are our research assistants and all, how we can utilize their resources very well. These all become in the SWOT analysis. Now the practices of the SWOT analysis carried out by NAC. All the institutions, we have to go through the SWOT analysis now for accreditation. So that is a very innovative practice. It has been developed by Stanford University in 1990s. It has become a very important qualitative method of research. We can have focus groups also. A focus group means any phenomenon or any issues. You can have the concerned people and have a discussion on that, relating to that. From that group, you can collect the data through a discussion or examination or debates and all. So that focus groups are also now come data resources sources also, and conducting that can be studied. Sometime the integration of technology, that we may not be knowing the difficulties of integration of technology, that even technology divide and all. So there you can better use the focus group method with the teachers, with the parents and all. You can have focus group, and from there we can develop the strategies how to overcome that problem. So then the third one is the narrative analysis. You can have the narrations, that is speeches, or even the write-up. Even when you want to study about Gandhiji and all, you take up all his speeches and find out how the truth and non-violence is reflected. All his books, that is a narrative and analysis. And appreciative inquiry, that is, this is also, sorry, I forgot to show you this, this slides. Dear friends, SWOT analysis I have given. It is a strategic tool to assess success based on internal or external factors, developed at the Stanford University. Took 9 years to develop this qualitative method. And it is a process that identifies the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and now the challenges of an organization, normally it is studied an organization or an institution. But individual cases also you can have, or even for a curriculum and all, you can have a SWOT analysis. Then next one is SWOT. I have told you, helpful factors are strength and opportunities. Harmful factors are weaknesses and threats. Internal factors, strength and weakness, and external factors, opportunities and threats. Hope that it has become clearer to you now. Then focus group discussion, a carefully planned discussion designed to obtain the perception of a defined area. You can bring the problems, the issues and all. And sometime it will be conducted in a non-threatening environment. Then only we can collect the data related to that. Any issue, like sometime it will be a student problem, or it's a labor problem, or a domestic violence. We can have better focus group discussion method. And the participants share and respond to and give their comments their ideas, suggestions, their problems and all. And you can have different types of focus groups. Full focus group with 6 to 10 people. Ideal, best focus group are you take 6 to 10 people, not more than that. Mini groups, even 4 to 6 people you can take. Even you can have telephone focus group. You can use telephones and you can interact with these people. They may not be able to come and meet you. Then you can have a telephone, or even now we have digital or video conferences and online sports focus group. So these are different methods you can use in focus group, dear friends. Narrative analysis is discourses, document, transcript, newspapers, and even any social media. Nowadays, most of the analysis come from social media. We get that social media, their, what they have written and how they have reacted to it. From that social media, we narrate what has happened and how this person is and all. So obtain the concept and inner meaning and emphasizes analysis of participants' life and world around them. Then there are different types of narrative analysis. Please note, one is life history analysis, then discourse analysis, then oral history analysis, textbook analysis, that is also a narrative, and curriculum discourses. You can use any one of them or any type of this analysis relating to these different aspects. Now we will go into the next one. Appreciative inquiry. I will better skip that and appreciative inquiry. Dear friends, thematic analysis, it is under structural analysis. You can have thematic emphasizes what is said and why it is so. Then structural analysis, the way it is related to, how they are structural from the structure, like a structure of a story and all. You have to find out that how it has been developed and created. Then interaction analysis, dialogue between the teller and the listener, and the performance analysis. Sometimes you can have many of these indigenous knowledge system studies. We have done it through performance analysis. They narrate or they perform. Like even sometime, martial arts, when you want to study about that classical dances and all, we can give, instead of, narrating that verbally, we can go for a performance analysis and evaluate that. That will become a part of your, study. Then appreciative analysis is an inquiry, strategy for purposeful change and development. That is, you can have a pursue your dreams and possibilities of what could be achieved. Like you can have a dream. So we wanted to have that, suppose you want to develop a new system of education, or your style of teaching or pedagogy, or new methods of research. That, Abdul Salam says, I used to dream a lot. What might be, or envisioning that impact? How can I bring these changes? That you have to find out, or even you can, it is a wishful thinking, imagination and all. From there, you have to design. If you are only dreaming, nothing will happen. He says, immediately you have to design it, bring it to what should be ideal and how we can plan it. How can we perform it or make it into give it into a structure, so that these people will understand that, or we can make this into practice. Then third one, he says, to destiny. Destiny means we have to, sometime there will be like comments, observations, sometime we have to, sometime there will be challenges, and we may not get enough fellowships and all, and we may not get support. Then even sometimes there will be threats from the people also. So that is the destiny part. Even sometimes the missiles are sent, they failed initially. So it was a destiny that you have to make that. I tried my level best, I designed it with all perfection, but something went wrong. So that was a destiny. But then you should not leave it. You have to improve it up and you have to bring it out, and that will be your discovery. So dream, design, destiny, and discovery. These are the three or four aspects. You can plan your research with these four aspects. And even this method was developed by the scientists recently. Even they have taken up the ideas from Gandhiji also. Even they have seen Gandhiji had a dream of independent India, and he had designed the Congress and the working committee and all these things. And he had so many challenges or destinies were there. And then he was able to achieve these things. Even after his life also, we are, considering him as a father of the nation because of his, the things he has brought in, the way he has, he has brought in those activities together and brought the people together to a different, line of life. So, and we have got the highest achievement is getting the independence itself. So that is the discovery or the dream becoming truth. So that is being used in the appreciative inquiry. Of course, when you use the appreciative inquiry, you have to use all the formal steps we have discussed for the research. But you can plan that research in this way. Instead of getting into a library or a laboratory method, you can have this appreciative inquiry format for your research. Though these are the different type of qualitative research. And finally, I will have some discussion, 10 to 15 minutes on the mixed method research. We are left with some half an hour time, 30 minutes time. We will discuss the most advanced and the recent types of research methods which we can use when you are applying for any project or in your own doctoral researches and all. You can use these methods. Mixed method research. A mixed method research design is a procedure for collecting, analyzing, and mixing both quantitative and qualitative methods in a single study. Instead of using a qualitative study or separately a quantitative study, but if you can combine these two, you can have these numerical data, statistical analysis, as well as you have the qualitative studies like ethnography and all, where you have profile or reconstructive data or logical analysis. So if you can mix both these type, correlational study and you have phenomenological study, if you can combine both this, and if it is needed to sometime that problem, we can solve that problem only when you have a mixed method. So if that mixed method is needed for your study, go for that mixed method, mixing both the qualitative and quantitative design. Utilize this design effectively. You must understand both quantitative and qualitative research. Generally, the attempt is to quantify the variables of interest, and questions must be measurable. First, you can have the qualitative, then you can convert them into quantitative grades or weightages and all. Then that both these methods can come very well. I will give you some examples right now. We will go into the different mixed method research designs you can make use of in your doctoral studies or in your project work. No, it's not coming. So some of the research designs I have given you. Please note that at least what happened? Stop. At least take 6 methods I have given. Mixed methods. I'm sorry, it is not coming. Some problem is there again.
Major mixed method design.
Yeah, the major mixed designs. One is the convergent parallel method. Second one is the explanatory method, explanatory, of course, sequential method, exploratory sequential method, embedded designs, and multi-mixer designs. These are the 6 designs, because as you told, as I mentioned to you, that Creswell, he in his handbook of research, he has mentioned about the major mixed method designs. But most of this, although they were asking us or urging us to use this mixed method, there were no designs possible in earlier days. But at the turn of this century, by 2008, they have prepared, and they have given us some of the designs which you can follow them, readily for your researchers. And I can give you some examples how this has been used in the studies, and also I will give you what this method stands for. So let us go first one to the convergent parallel method. You have, from the design, you can see here we have to use both qualitative and quantitative designs, or quantitative studies we have to conduct. We do it in a parallel way. We converge at the same time. You conduct the quantitative and qualitative studies at the same time, not one after the other. Because in many studies it comes one after the other. Here we have to do it in a comprehensive way. In one set, we have to make the quantitative and qualitative studies and compare the results from them and interrelate, and you have to interpret that data. I will give you an example of one of the studies conducted by my student, she was a national scholar, and now she is an advisor to NEP, Mumtaz. She came and she wanted to study about the micronutrient effect of micronutrient malnutrition on cognitive development and thinking process. And this she wanted to study among the primary school children. Then I was thinking, how can we conduct a study on this? On two aspects are there. On one ground, we have to find out their cognitive development and thinking process. And the second one is, what is the effect of this micronutrient malnutrition? So, she started the studies first with the, both these things she has started together. She studied, she used biochemical analysis, and she used anthropometric tests to find out the, she wanted to find out the micronutrient malnutrients, whether the students are having micronutrient and there is any malnutrition. Micronutrients are needed in very small amount, like iron, vitamin A, then potassium, sodium, and all. These are all in very small amount we have to have. But if they are not there, it will affect our thinking and cognitive process. So she collected the data through biometry and biochemical analysis. At the same time, she developed a participatory rural appraisal and ethnography. These children, where are they coming from? How is their family? What type of food they are taking? That she has studied in a qualitative way. So, and she combined these two, qualitative data and quantitative data, together. And in quantitative data, she found 17% of our students are having micronutrient malnutrition. And that is affecting, but why they are failing in the schools and all. It is a failure that because it is not because of teacher factor or classroom factor. It is because of this nutrition factor. So that such a study, which she has done, both the things she has done at the same time, using qualitative methods like ethnography, then case studies, and at the same time she used she used this biochemical analysis, then anthropometry test, and even cognitive assessment scale also she developed. So that was a very good study, and excellent example of mixed method, qualitative and quantitative. And in explanatory sequential method, this is the second method here. They are not studied at the same time. The scholar make that as a part by part. First, they will conduct one study, then they will go follow it up with the next study. And these two designs, explanatory and exploratory. In explanatory designs, the quantitative studies will come first. Then we will, analyze it, and we will find out. Based upon that, we can have the qualitative analysis. We had a study on ICT for the empowerment of the agriculture workers or agriculturists. So this is done by one, he's the principal of, Layala College now. He's Dr. Thomas Amardam, ICT for the empowerment of farmers. And what he did was, first he studied about the quantitatively. He gave and find out what type of ICT gadgets they are using, what is their income, what is the type of farming they are doing and all, and what are the problems with that ICT and all. That is the quantitative aspects. So that ICT and the level of that ICT with the user that he has used in the quantitative. And then from that study, he found many of them are having mobile and other ICT things. But when they were using it, they were having problem. They were not able to connect properly. They were having, they were not able to use these gadgets properly. Then, the right type of data they are not getting. So he conducted a number of workshops, the qualitative workshop, and he developed that training program for these farmers, how to use this ICT, better use of ICT. And those who are not having ICT, he made it a point to give them that ICT gadgets and empower them. So first the quantitative studies, then the qualitative approaches, interacting with the people, narrative analysis, and training of these farmers. So at two levels, he has conducted the study. Then he has showed how we can have the impact on ICT on the farmers in India. That's quantitative first and qualitative next. Then another study is on the third one, that is exploratory design. Sorry. So as against this explanatory design, the next one is our, exploratory sequential design. This also is sequential, not parallel, one after the other. But here, first the qualitative study, then you go into the quantitative study, then you come up with the research. And even in your research thesis also, or project report also, first the qualitative research methods will come and their analysis and data they will give. Then comes the quantitative study aspects. So there was one study conducted in Gandhigram where she studied about the infanticides, that death of the children. She was a doctor. She came after a MD. She came for the studies. So she wanted to study about the the child deaths. So that if there had a lot of reports that in India the child deaths are more prevalent during the first 10 months. So she wanted to go, and she studied in some the Wayanad in tribal area in Kerala, and there were reports there is no child death or mother death. So she wanted to go and collect the data qualitatively from the from the families, from the police and all. She collected the data, and from the hospitals and all, collected the data qualitatively. That is, she has used most there's a case analysis of the families where there is a death of the child has happened. So in fact, has died in that family and all. Then that was the first part. Then also she studied the coping behavior. When you lose a child, what was the coping behavior? So sometimes it has gone to quarrel, divorce, or they have become alcoholics and all, and even sometimes they have become very sad. So that and they have used some of the religious norms and all to overcome that grief and all. So that medical, religious and all, what are the coping behavior they have used, that also she studied. It is all she studied in the qualitative way. And later she developed a package for giving, counseling to these people, and counseling services for prenatal services. So for that, training them before that, when they are pregnant and all, give them adequate training and knowledge so that they will better take care of that childbirth, and we can arrest the death of the child. So that, and also that she has given counseling, and she has made the there are counselors, medical health workers. She has given them coaching for giving them counseling, and then counseling for these parents who have lost their child and all. So that is that, that was the that package she developed, and she has given that training, and the effect of that training she has studied, she has used. That was mostly of the quantitative side. She has given a test, and she has given that training, and that training, effectiveness of the training when they have gone for after the childbirth and all, she has brought in her studies. Of course, it was a study, she took almost 7 years to complete that study, but very meticulously done about the the child death and the coping behavior of the people, of the rural people or the tribal people in Kerala. So this is a very good, this was a very good study and a perfect example of this exploratory design. Infant mortality she has studied, and coping behavior of women in Wayanad. That infant mortality means how many of these children die during the first few years of life. Then now we can go into another one, that, and we will stop there. That is no, that is embedded design. In embedded design, this is it's a, you can say it's a design which has been both parallel and sequential. You can have, it is a sandwich design where when we use both quantitative first, then at the end also we use quantitative. In between we have a qualitative study, or a qualitative research is pasted or sandwich between quantitative studies. And in one of our project on youth empowerment and life skill education, we made this as embedded design. First, we studied that what is the, we developed a youth empowerment scale and also a life skill scale, and we tested and we got all the quantitative data. But in the next time, you have to we have to develop a we have to develop the package on life skill. And this was during the corona period we started that work. And on the 10 life skills, there are 5 pairs of WHS life skills. We found that is more effective and needed for the youth, that is the college students, adolescents and all. So we took that and developed a package using the qualitative methods. We brought the college and university teachers. They discussed and they developed these packages. That life skill education modules or packages they have developed. One on self-awareness and empathy. These are the first pair. We should know about our own, that self-awareness is also known, is needed and for as a life skill, and we should know about the problems of others also. So then only that is the first pair. We should know about ours and we have to know about others. That is self-awareness and empathy, understanding about others, their problem and all. And second one was critical thinking and creative thinking. How far you have to generate that skills or critical thinking and creative. Then creative means they have to have innovative ways of doing that. So that was the second pair we developed. That package we have developed on critical thinking and creative thinking. And third one that we developed was on problem solving and decision making. How that leadership skills and any problem we can take up, and what are the skills and how can we solve the problem, and what are the decision making skills. And decision making skill is very, very important in problem solving. So we had a third pair of package in decision making skills and problem solving. And fourth one was communication and interpersonal skills. You have to improve your communication. At the same time, you have to relate it with that communication for interpersonal relationship, social relationship, peer relationship and all. So that was the fourth pair. And the last pair was on it was on stress management. You have that sometime you have that stress managed anxiety, and stress management was very, very important. So that is during the COVID period, this was very high. That is anxiety was very high, and you have to coping with anxiety and stress management that may lead to stress. So that is these five. This is the last module we have developed, and we have given all these five modules we have developed in our through our workshop, and we have vetted it, and then we have given it to the students and the adolescents. We have given this through online and offline. We have used both, and then we studied the impact. Then again we conducted the quantitative study using the empowerment model and collecting data on empowerment scale and life scale. And then we have checked what is the difference which has come at the youth empowerment, how this life skills has on all each of these components, how this has helped for the development or the problem solving or stress management of the students in the universities and colleges. So that is an example of the embedded design. Hopefully I will stop here and we can have some discussion. And I have to if there are some clarification, we can do it. Otherwise we will discuss some more designs. Otherwise this is good enough. I have discussed 5 designs. One is parallel design. Second one is explanatory sequential. Third one is exploratory sequential. And also we have discussed about this embedded design. We have this multi-phase design also. In multi-phase design, we use we can use 2 quantitative studies first. Then we can go for a qualitative study. So in phases, you use this the same techniques we use, but the method or the logic we are differing. It's a complex design that examines a research problem through a series of phases of the study. First, we can have a qualitative study. Then also again, we can have a qualitative study. Then we can go to quantitative. The other way also you can have. We can have quantitative first, then one or two have qualitative, qualitative analysis also. So if you arrange this study and if it is needed, some of the sequential studies, we have found that one time that studies will not get any effect. So we have to go for the multi-phase design, and especially in the corona time and all, we have used many of this multi-phase design. If time permitting, I will give you some examples. Otherwise, it is open for discussion and interaction. Please, if there are some questions, I can come up.
Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful and insightful session. The forum is open now for discussion or the queries or the question. If you have any kind of suggestions or you can share something, you can please share or ask the questions to Professor Sudhir, sir. Please, anyone, please.
Most welcome.
Yes, anyone from the participants?
Okay. Anyway, I am so happy to interact with you. But you may be tired after your work in the departments. Then you are coming for this session. But even then, all of you were attending very well, and we are able to, we were able to give you some information. This you can make use of further in your teaching and research. And if there are some queries, I will be very happy, because when I introduced this topic, there were obscene number of queries from the participants saying that it may not be possible during our college or university sessions. We are not getting the time and all, but that is not so. Many of them told it will be possible, and we will make use of these, both qualitative or the quantitative types very well, and that mixed method also we can use. And prepare some of the research topics or the proposal, giving both the qualitative and quantitative aspects, and make it some possible collaborative research. You will get very good funding from National Research Foundation or even from UGC or ICSR. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such a wonderful session. I think,
Sir,
yes,
excuse
Dabre, sir.
me.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Dabre,
sir.
sir, please.
Yeah. Sir, when we can use the parametric and non-parametric test in quantitative research?
Good. Sorry,
Or
I didn't take any quantitative methods. I had some slides, but I skipped because Anyway, it is good that you have brought this question. Especially, this is very, very important. For some time in the inferential statistics, we were forced to use either parametric or non-parametric test. And we have to fulfill the conditions for the parametric test, because it should be, of course, it is a quantitative analysis, and you have to have the data metrics with the numericals, and it should be subjected to statistical analysis, and statistical norms should be followed. And normally the parametric tests, like analysis of variance, you have to have t-test, f-test and all. If these are you have to fulfill that conditions. It should be a normal distribution of scores. First, you have to test the scores, and you can say this is a normal distribution. We may have, that is a bell, when you depict that, it will come into a bell-shaped curve. We have maximum number of is the data in the center, but we have the data from the extreme sides also, that are towards the positive and negative sides. So even we used to say that data will come to the mean in the, it will be more adhered to the mean, but it will be stretched to the, one level of one or two standard deviation to the positive side as well as the negative side. If your data qualifies this, you can go for quantitative study. And also, when you have to have that data in numbers, that can be subjected to rigorous analysis. Like you have to mean that you have to find the weightages and the scores. that you can add or you can divide and all. So then we can make it into that median, standard deviation and all we can find out. But your point is when you have to use non-parametric tests, or why the students, when the students fail to make a normal distribution test, and you cannot say fulfill that condition, whether, or you do not know that your distribution is normal, or it is all skewed data. Sometimes if you take creativity, that if all the students are having maximum number of creativity, then it is a skewed data. It is not following a normal this. There you can subject, and the data is not coming to the schools there, but the numbers are there. You have frequencies, and from that frequencies you can use chi-square test, you can use sign test, then you can use measure, median test, because you are not able to fulfill, and only your data is only you are having a data with the frequencies, not more than frequencies. So there we are forced to have, but even then many of these non-parametric statistics are very powerful statistics, like sign test, Kushkal, tests and all. They are very powerful. You can convert them into contingency coefficient, and you can find out how these variables are interrelated. But they say that your data, it comes only in frequencies, and sometimes you have to go only for percentage analysis and all. Then you have to show them percentages and all. Then you can have this non-parametric tests. But you are waived of the condition, because you need not fulfill any condition, and you are not able to to find out or say that whether it is normally distributed and all. That's in that case, go for non-parametric tests, and they are also very useful. And in qualitative research, you can use both this quantitative analysis and quantitative analysis, parametric and non-parametric also. Then you can have this profile analysis with the qualitative. I have got some analytical method. I think I can show you. 1 minute. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand it and I recall it. No.
Yeah, you can recall it, but I can give you some softwares and some analytical methods also. I have some. Somehow we have missed that last two slides. Thank you for the question. I am so happy.
Yes, sir. I also got satisfaction with your answer, sir.
Okay, thank you. But for all of this, I can show you this. What are the methods you can use? I'm sorry, I'm not getting the
No problem, sir. I understand it, and I remember.
1 minute.
Yes, Professor Sudhir sir, I have your PPT. What can I do? I will share your PPT among the participants.
You can share that PPT, and
Yes,
you can say there are analytical methods, both qualitative and quantitative. I have given like page number 16. That logical and textual analysis, content analysis, narrative analysis, of profile analysis, creep top analysis, then visual graphic presentations and all. These are all, qualitative analysis method. Quantitative analysis, you have a mean, median, that descriptive statistics, then ranges, dispersions and all, correlation, regression, analysis of variance, path analysis, factor analysis. Both the quantitative, parametric and non-parametric you can use in the quantitative analysis method. Then in the next, slide, I have given data analysis softwares. I'm sorry I didn't follow it that time. That is in qualitative, you can use ethnograph. That is version now 6 is available. Some of them are unpriced also, nudist, then Coda Minor, Atlas T, Max Coda, Memo. These are some of the qualitative analysis for ethnography, phenomenology and all. You can give the textual data then you will get other results, sir.
Yeah,
Then-
yeah, sir. Thank you, sir, for your
And the quantitative, you can
nice
use
explanation.
SPSS, AMOS, or Strata. You can use, MATLAB. For science people, we use more MATLAB and Kirkos and all. So these are the different softwares available with you. So either you can use quantitative, or you can combine both for the mixed result. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, is there any another questions? If anyone has any kind of questions, they can please ask. Either we will conclude this session. Hello, Professor Sudhir sir. I think there is no more questions. So if you could permit, shall we conclude sir, this session?
Please, go ahead. Please, because it is getting late for you also.
No, sir, because we are in residential in nature at our campus, so we don't have any kind of time permission, sir.
Here also it is. I am in NCRT, National Institution. They are all happy and they have opened it up till whatever time you want. They say, sir, you can use and you can be here.
Sir, we are really luckily fortunate to hear you, sir, because because your experience in in this field, that is HEI, really, sir, it is remarkable for us, sir, because you have given the clear-cut roadmap how we can should proceed for the research, and how should the basic thing from the you have started this session from the basic thing, and really, sir, you have explored the various methods of the research that should we should inculcate in our research practices, as well as we are on behalf of the Malvi Mission Teacher Training Centers and Galge Baba Amravati University, we express our sincere gratitude to you, sir, for being with us, enlighten us, and motivate us for doing the research in very simple way. And you have provided lot of materials, sir, and your PPT I have shared with all the participants, and definitely it will be beneficial for us, sir, in future. And one more request is there, sir, I will share your contact details with all the participants. If they have any kind of queries or the questions in future references, they can directly connect to you, sir. So you will provide your guidance. We will definitely, sir, assure that you will provide your guidance, sir.
Sure. I will be available, and you can share them my email ID and my, my phone number also, mobile
Yes,
number.
sir. Yes,
so
sir.
in case of any difficulty or making some design and all, then they can approach me anytime. Most
Okay,
welcome.
sir.
Thank you.